It's a life of a fisherman you wouldn't understand. Something you can't feel on dry land. You gotta get your arms way up in a cage and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. You gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-Loomis rod. I bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck, give it the world. Hello, welcome to my world.
What's up?
What's going on, all you Facebook Live and YouTube Live fishing freaks? Welcome to this episode of On Another Line. Same bat time, same bat channel. 2 weeks in a row. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Rainy day here in Southern Ohio, Northern Kentucky. Pretty crazy. I think, like I said last week, Mother Nature decided to hold off 100% of all of her rain all summer and then dump it in the first 3 weeks of fall. I'm guessing we probably got 2+ inches of rain today because it rained pretty much constantly all day, which is not a bad thing. Cool the water temperature down.
I'm digging it.
Cool the water temperature down, get some water flowing through the Ohio River, which I'm really pumped up about. It's one of my favorite fisheries on the planet, to be honest with you. Because it's so close to me, and it's not really this favorite of mine to go catch giant fish, is that the fact that I can have my boat out of my garage and in the water in less than 5 minutes. Makes a huge difference to make sure that we can actually, have some fun. So you go out and you catch some. Speaking of the River Rat Invitational was this past weekend. I didn't get the opportunity to fish it, but the weights were about what I figured they would be when it comes to the Ohio River at this time of year. Man, I've fished it for the last 2 weeks off and on here and there, like a couple days a week. And I have absolutely got my rear end whipped. And it kind of played out that way with the River Valley Bass Club holding the River Rat tournament this weekend. I can grab the weights here. I want to make sure I'm getting it right.
Yeah, hopefully they had some people show up because that's a lot of work to put that kind of stuff on. So
37 boats, I think, is what Dan told me. 32, 37. It was over 30.
That's really good.
Yeah, good. It was a good turnout. The River Rat's a great tournament. It is expensive to get into, but it's, it kind of is what it is. Like, you realize what you're getting into and all of that. So it looks like I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to find the actual. I think Dan Mullins posted it and not in River Valley Bass Club. Let me make sure that I'm on the right spot. Anybody out there doing any fishing?
Yeah, we need to find some good fishing holes right now because everybody's getting antsy, starting to cool down. People want to start fishing again if they're not in the woods. I'm getting ready to go down to Chickamauga, fish casting for kids. I am excited about it. Hopefully, it is an absolute slugfest. We'll see. But, I think there's still some availability to sign up. If anybody has fished the casting for kids, either Tennessee or Kentucky, I think you could probably weasel your way into the tournament. I think they're up to 200 boats. I don't think they're anywhere near that right now. So, definitely try to contact Chris Ferguson and get in there.
Yeah, so looks like River Rat Classic 2025 big overall winners big bass was Kevin Spears and a lady. I am not sure if that's not his daughter. I know he has a daughter. I've known her a long time ago, but I don't know if that's her. I think her name's Amber. They had 310 for the big bass. The overall winners of the tournament was Billy Back. So congratulations to you, man. That's awesome. A huge tournament. A really good payout. So the Day one leader was Kevin Spears, and again, I think it was his wife. Both of the Fitzpatrick brothers coming in second with 7:28. Chris Malone, Ricky Barnett with 6.90. And then we had in fourth place was our buddy Aaron Strickland and Chris Twinham. And then day two, you had Billy Back coming in there. He caught him good on day two. He didn't even finish in the top 6 day one, and then had 9.13 pounds for the second day. He had 15 pounds, so he had I guess about 6 pounds the first day, so it would have put him probably in 6th or 7th. Caught another 9 pounds. So you catch a 10-pound bag on the river. It was 9:13. That's a pretty good day. Congratulations to all those folks. Our dude Worm Leap fished it there. One of the dudes I know always comes in and gives us some support. Really good tournament. Really good turnout. Dale Redmond, what's up, buddy? Micah Hobensack, how you doing, buddy? How you guys doing? Jared was talking about going down to Chickamauga, and not this weekend, but next weekend. And then I got a couple of things in the works as well. I think myself and Dusty Smith are going to go down and fish the Shimano Owners Tournament in November at Lake Cumberland. Which, by the way, if you don't know about that, Drew Sadler posted something about it the other day. I'll just find the flyer and show you guys. The deal is that if you live in and around the area of Lake Cumberland or up around our area here, there is a let me just save this. Crap. So here it is, free team tournament. That is, it's a Shimano Owners Tournament, November 15th, 2025, Lake Cumberland. It is going out of the Connolly Bottom Ramp. There is a giant tournament there the exact same day. I think they call it, what do they call it? South Central. They are having a South Central there as well, out of Connolly Bottom. There's probably going to be 100 plus boats there putting in that morning. You can fish both if you want to. The South Central is not free. I'm sure it's probably $100 a boat. I'm not sure. But the Shimano team tournament is free, but there is some stipulations. You have to have bought a Shimano rod or reel that is $99.99 or higher from a participating dealer. Some of those dealers are like Border Sporting Goods, I think Cane Pole. There's several in the area. But if you are in and around our area and you'd like to fish this and you've bought one of these, a Shimano rod or reel that's $100 or more, you can go to the participating dealer that's around you, grab an entry fee, enter, and you can come in and fish for free. They give away, you see first prize there is 2 Poison Adrena rods plus $750. And it goes all the way down. They pay all the way back to 15th place, which you could get 2 SLX rods if you win that. Now, if you are not a Shimano guy, or I say this, you don't fish mostly Shimano and maybe you're a G Loomis guy, they're having a G Loomis free team tournament in December, I believe, down in Lake Cumberland as well. And from what I understand, the colder it gets at Cumberland, the better the fishing is. I'm not sure. But if you're interested in that, you can see Brad over at Borders. He'll be able to get you set up with that. But I think that's my next tournament that I'm going to go to, November 15th again. I'm headed to Fayetteville, West Virginia, not this weekend, but next weekend for Bridge Day. Awesome time. I've no fishing involved there, just to get away for a weekend. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I actually won a smallmouth trip up there on New River. I need to contact that rep. Thanks to Brian Davidson for his first responders tournament. I still haven't contacted that guy. I should do that.
Yeah, New River's awesome. We went a couple weeks ago and rafted the Golly River. We talked about that. It was an awesome time. But I wish I lived closer to the New River, because that's what I would do in the summertime. I would smallmouth guide on the New in a paddle boat, and dude, it's so much fun being able to, and because most of those guides are able to fish too. So you go down the river, making sure nobody gets hurt, doing a little fishing, showing people how to catch fish, where to cast, where to catch fish. At the end of the day, you get paid for it. Pretty good gig. What's up, Jack?
What?
So what's up?
Oh, being ornery as usual.
So last week we spent the entire time talking about the fall transition and turnover phase. I feel like that this colder rain, if it keeps raining like this, is going to push that quicker than we think. Normally it's about end of October, 1st of November in our area, but I feel like that I was out of Grayson this past week, fished the Marathon Bass Club or the Marathon Club's Thursday nighter. I enjoy those things, man. I tell you what, those guys out there, a great group of guys. There's no bull crap. It's kind of like Lewis County Lunkers. It's the reason I fish with them so much is that you go out there and you pay your money and the best, may the best person or team win. And then they go home and they're all buddies at the end of it, which is all good. It's really cool to see, people rolling in there in $130,000 bass boats. And there's some guys in there that are in 10 rigs, it just doesn't matter. And I think that's cool too. And went out and I was throwing a Blue Rock custom triple threat with a Z-Man crawl on the back of it. And I was catching fish like crazy. And I was thinking to myself a couple weeks ago that I need to get old Jesse at Blue Rock to order some more triple threats and things because I hadn't been able to go to the Borders. They have them now, but I haven't been over there for a while because I've been busy with work. I was actually over this weekend. But I only had one triple threat jig, and I caught like 10 bass on it and broke it off. And then I tied on just another jig. I don't know what it was. Actually, it was a Picasso little spotty. It's a little bigger. The little spotty's a little bigger than that finesse jig from Blue Rock. They just weren't eating it as well. I ended up catching 2 more bass after that on that jig. But case in point, that's why I buy 2 or 3 of everything when I buy it. Did go over to Borders this past weekend, talked to Brad for a while. A couple of things that I can tell you is that they have 2 of the most crazy rods I've ever held in my hands at one given time right now over there at Borders. The Shimano Poison Ultima. And now, so here's the thing. People are going to, haters are going to hate. They're going to be like, that's a $979 rod. And you're exactly right. Do I own one? No. Am I going to? Probably not. Unless I just happen to hit the lottery sometime. I don't have that kind of cash. And I understand not a lot of people do either. But I was talking to Brad over there, and he told me a price on those rods. And I can't tell you guys here on the air. But I have a way to save you hundreds of dollars on those rods. He has a 7.4 medium heavy and a 7.2 heavy. Poison Ultima, which is the upper echelon top dog of the Shimano rod line. It's been out in the JDM market for several years. They just ported it over to the United States a year and a half ago. And then now Borders has 2 of them finally. It's taken them a year and a half to get them. Or at least a year to get them. So he's got 2 over there. They come in a really cool 2-piece rod sock that's like neoprene and mesh. It's pretty cool. Again, MSRP $979.99. Now that is absurd. I get it. You don't have to tell me twice. I get it. $1,000 for 1,000 bills for a fishing rod is crazy. But again, I say that to say this. I have a way to save you hundreds of dollars on that rod. Shoot me a DM and I'll let you know how that happens. There's only 2 available right now. If you want more than that, you can order them, but it's hard to tell them when they're going to be there. They are casting rods. They, again, 7.4 medium heavy, 7.2 heavy, and they're both fast action. So I like the reel seat on them. They're freaking amazing. They're just, you're not going to get a better Shimano rod. That's the berries.
Yeah, it feels really similar to the Poison Adreno when I held it. I definitely like to fish with it, but it's kind of one of those, it's so expensive, it almost turns me off to it. But honestly, I'm sure it's awesome to fish with.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, to be honest with you. They were $970 anyway. But anyway, I can knock that tariff money off for you if you want to buy it. I'm saying that I'm saving you hundreds, not 100. I'm going to be able to save you hundreds of dollars on that rod. There's only 2 of them. You got to buy them from Borders. You're not going to get them from Shimano or anywhere else, but I can get you a great deal on those rods if you're interested in having the top dog of the Shimano lineup in your boat. Again, not for everybody, not even for me. I don't even have the opportunity. All Shimano products have went up, and they went up by like 15%.
About $50 for everything. It's a bummer. That's about all I've got to say about it. It is definitely a bummer. Everything's increasing. I mean, from your fast food to your fishing products. It's just kind of part of the times, I guess.
Yeah, well, I just don't understand it though. If we could talk about the tariffs there for a second, the tariffs are on China, and the Shimano rods are built in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So why are the prices going up? That's what I don't understand. So are they building them in China? Are they building them in Japan? Are they coming out of China? What's happening here? I know some Shimano rods are built in China, but most of Shimano stuff like the Poison Adrena, the Poison Ultima say right on it, made in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no hike in tariffs there on Japan. I know China's getting hammered right now, but I don't know. I don't get it. Again, everything's gone up. I was having a conversation. Really, not. I guess wasn't having a conversation. If I was having a conversation with myself, I got problems. I was just thinking in my head the other day. My dad bought a Z28 Camaro in 1973 when he graduated, and he bought it for $5,700 and drove it off the showroom floor for $5,700. 1973. Now, he was working at the Ironton Malleable Steel Company, which went under a long time ago. But he was working there. It was about, it was his first year out of high school, got a job there, ladling furnaces or whatever he was doing as a 18, 19-year-old kid. Goes to, it used to be Bob Kleiss in Ironton, but it was something way before that, I'm sure. But Chevrolet dealership in Ironton, still there. It's actually, it's Glockner now. But anywho, Dad buys a Z28 Camaro off of the showroom floor. It was a Z28, Z28 Camaro. Had 350 with a 350 turbo automatic. So he drives off showroom floor for $5,600. And I don't know what his wages were back in the day, but I guarantee you it's not what I make now. But it just feels like that you always hear people talking about this rat race of life where you never get ahead. And I feel like that is kind of the case for everything, because I'm looking at trading my truck in the spring, and I'm looking at a Toyota Tundra, and they're $75,000 to $85,000. Now, is that $85,000 applicable, or is it, or basically is it in ratio with the $5,600 my dad spent? I'm thinking it's probably not, but what I'm thinking is that you see in prices going up and up and up and up and up. They never go back down. So, it's like if you want something and you can afford it, then you better buy it, because 2 months from now, you're probably not going to be able to.
Yeah, it's just going to get worse. Honestly, that's what I did with I ended up getting a couple more Bantams because of that before the $50 price increase. I love Bantams. It's my favorite Shimano reel, and I did not want to pay that extra $50, so I think I bought 2 of them before the price hike, so to speak. I think it's just inflation. I mean, it's everything. Ever since COVID, everything has been slowly going up and slowly going up, and I know it's an excuse for everything, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like I said, it's just weird that it doesn't matter. I mean, there's a certain point where you make enough money where you can just feel comfortable, but it's a lot higher than I make. But it's just weird that the expenditure floor there, if you think about it, it just feels like it's consistently goes up by percentage, but it is the exact same as it was in 1973 per the ratio. You know what I mean? It's like dad was probably making like, I don't know, $7 an hour and paid $5,000 for a truck or for a car. Right. So, you know, it's just crazy. And then, you know, you look at all politics and it doesn't matter what side you're on, left side, right side, up, down, left, black, white, purple, you name it. Like all this crap is crazy. Like, you know, the government shut down and they're shutting down like state parks and all this stuff because they can't come to an agreement, and them as politicians should be working for us. And those jokers are getting paid $300,000 or $400,000 a year to be on vacation right now because they can't make ends meet or make a decision, which, you know, all this stuff is going to eventually, they're wanting like trillions of dollars for bills and stuff now. When you think about it, I think that that's where a lot of their inflation comes in too, is this political like misuse of money where they're just throwing this stuff willy-nilly everywhere. I mean, you think about $1 trillion, man. Like I can't even wrap my head around how much $1 trillion is. You know, like I have a conversation with my students sometimes, and that I have a hard time wrapping my head around what $1 billion is even. If you think about this in seconds, if you will, if you have 1,000,000 seconds, that's approximately 11.6 days, right? So that's, you know, a little under 2 weeks is 1,000,000 seconds. 1,000,000,000 seconds is almost 32 years. Now think about the differentiation there. 1,000,000 seconds is 11 days. 1,000,000,000 seconds is almost 32 years. I just don't understand. Now, $1 trillion, like, like that's something that I'll never be able to fathom. So, because if you think about it in ratio, if you think about how that goes up, 1 trillion seconds is almost 32,000 years. So if you wanted to take $1 trillion that's in this bill or in any bill, and you wanted to pay that back $1 a day, it would take you 32,000 years to pay it back. That is crazy. Blows my mind.
Crazy. Time is a strange thing, that's for sure. Adds perspective.
Oh, show. Let's talk about fishing. Hell with politics. You know what? I guess here's a great question. What makes fishing so addictive? Like, is it the thrill of the chase? Is it, for me, I think it's like me versus Mother Nature any given day of the week. I can go out on Monday and absolutely whack them on a spy bait at St. Clair, go out the next day with similar conditions, and never catch a fish on a spy bait. It's just you versus Mother Nature, mano a mano, survival of the fittest. And I think a little bit it has to do with the gear that you have and the knowledge, but I swear, I think that, I don't know, 75% of fishing is luck. It's all about being around a fish that wants to eat and having something to put in its face. Like, I think that baits catch more fishermen than fish. It's kind of like, what's the Hellraiser that's got the jerk bait on the back of it? What is that? Have you seen that?
That's got a jerk bait on it?
It looks like a jerk bait.
Oh, man. It's funny that it's all moved from like everything having some type of chatterbait thing to now everything is a minnow. You know, it's all moving one direction or the next.
Yeah, maybe it was just the Hellraiser I'm seeing because I forgot it had that body behind it.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy baits, there's a new bait that's come out of Japan that's not even available in the United States, but it's supposed to be the absolute berries when it comes to chatterbait fishing. It is a Jackal break, a big
break blade. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, break blade.
I keep, I follow that Backwaters guy on from Lexington.
Yeah,
and man, the dude gets a bunch of Japanese baits. And break blade was one of the things that he had not that long ago. And, you know, of course I was interested in getting one, but, you know, I didn't get it. But it'd be cool to throw one for sure, just to see what the big difference is. I think now that anybody can make a chatterbait, it's I mean, honestly, it looks really similar to all the other ones.
Yeah, so I think that what sets this thing apart is it has a weed guard top and bottom. I don't know that there's a chatterbait on the planet right now that has a weed guard at all. This one has one on the top by the hook and one below it. Everybody that's fishing these things claims that you can throw these things like inside a big timber drop and, you know, and still bring it through there. That's a pretty good looking color. Hologram Hasu.
Mm.
Japan shad. Got fire crawl, baby. It's called red crawl, but you know what they're going for there. The super white one is $2 more expensive.
What site are you on right now?
JapanFishingTackle.com.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at $22.99 plus probably $20 shipping from Japan. So.
Yeah, from Japan.
And that's another thing you're talking about. The dude from Backwaters. He's buying a pile of those freaking what are those? The Sakamotos that people are like. I think a minnow's a minnow's a minnow, man. They might, maybe not. Maybe that's why I don't catch fish.
Who knows?
Golly, they said Dale said Google what $1 trillion looks like. He said it's crazy. Double stacked pallets that would fill a big warehouse. That's crazy, man. Like, it's nuts. Like, I just think that we lose sight of what money is. I mean, it's like we're not living on the gold standard anymore. That we went off the gold standard a long time ago. It used to be in the government or in the United States, if we would print $1, there would be $1 worth of gold to back that up, stored somewhere in like Fort Knox or something. We have just been printing money to print money for years. I'm thinking we went off that like in the late 80s, the gold standard. Since then, it's just like, yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with inflation. Is that like, you know what? We need $1 trillion for this bill. Let's just print $1 trillion more and insert, you know, we'll just kind of inject that into the economy and see what happens.
Yeah, scary stuff.
You see a lot. I did see, I haven't done any research about it, but I did see a interview the other day where they were talking about potentially doing a dividend to all American people in like $1,300 to $1,500, kind of like COVID money, but it was all this Doge finding or whatever. But I don't know. We'll have to see if that happens or not. But who knows?
Yeah, we just print more money that way, you know. It just I don't know. I guess I wouldn't complain about getting the money, but at the same time, it's like, is that adding to inflation and gonna give us $1,000 here, but cost us $2,000 later? Probably so.
Hey, I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna have to work. I'm gonna have to work right up until lunch on the day of my funeral. So it's happening. Anyway, I like that super brake blade. The super brake blade's a 1/2 ounce. You can get it down to a 3/8. I think. Actually, I have a 1/4 ounce as well. I really like that thing pretty well, and I like that it has those weed guards. I think that makes a huge difference with that. Being able to throw a chatterbait or even a spinnerbait through timber is a great way to catch bass. So if you could throw it in there and make it harder for you to get snagged and throw it in those really gnarly places, man, I think that'd be a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this, it vibrates as fast as the jackhammer, because to me, that's what it's all about. Getting it to vibrate as soon as you start to turn that reel handle. And honestly, there's nothing better than, to me, a jackhammer, an Elite, and the Thunder Cricket are, I think, the best three. I mean, I fished the Berkeley ones quite a bit too. They're just not as slick as those three, in my opinion. I got a bunch of all of them, which my bladed jig obsession has been crazy, but
They catch fish, that's for sure. So, I mean, we were talking there a second ago. What makes fishing so addictive for you? What's up, Larry?
Man,
Gary
I think
Timberlake in the house,
it's
too.
the thrill of what's there and you don't know it, and that potential of catching your personal best, and it's a lot of different things all wrapped into one. Being able to, you know, harness a piece of this natural world that is always there, but we don't get to see it, is what it's all about for me, and escaping my everyday life.
For sure, I get that. It's I think that there's just a this is not knowing kind of what you're talking about. I remember like I still have the bug of fishing so bad. It's crazy. Like I have done less fishing in the last month than I have in the last 5 years consistently. I'm not kidding you. I've been out on the water twice in the last 5 weeks, which doesn't happen for me. I fish twice a week every week in the summertime, but I've just been so busy with work, and I have vowed to not let that happen anymore. I'm going to go start doing some fishing whenever I can, because I like doing that. I've let my YouTube channel kind of slip off, which is I don't want. But I went out there at Grayson the other day, and it was just one of those deals. Like I didn't even take my camera with me to make a video because one, I knew it was Grayson. I wasn't expecting to go out there and catch a giant, and I figure if I didn't have my camera, I would go out there and catch a hammer. But it didn't happen. There's something about being on the water.
Universe. I see you.
What is it?
Reverse psychology, the universe.
Yeah. We did, Mike. We got close to 2 inches probably. We got freaking hammered.
The pond overfloweth, my friend.
Speaking of which, your fish still kicking?
Yeah. I've been catching them, every, I don't know, a couple nights a week, and kind of makes me not a crazy person. And if I just get to go out there and like catch a couple bass, it's either, so far it's I've only caught them on a spinnerbait and on a real lightweight Texas rig, but it's fun. I mean, they're all like 8 inches at this point, so they got some growing to do. But I put some bass minnows in there the other day, and they were popping them like crazy, which is really fun to watch. It's kind of nice. You can, I actually went out to TNT Outdoors and bought 7 dozen of them. They sell them by the dozen there, and it was like $20. So it was. I didn't think that was too bad. I'm sure it's more than it has been in the past, but it wasn't too bad, I thought.
Yeah, like I said, we need to get out there and do some minnow trapping. Strickland, what's up, man? I see you there too. And I don't know if you were on here last week. I told you that I have those plans printed for you. I've had them printed for a week or so. Whenever you sent that to me 2 weeks ago. Get a hold of me tomorrow. I can bring them to you Thursday if you still need them. If not, that's fine too. Just let me know. Freedom from life's worries. I get that, man. That's like, Gary, I'm glad you said something like that, because I don't know if it makes me like, so I feel like that I am religious to an extent where I believe in a higher power, and I believe I believe in God and Jesus and the whole Christianity thing, which is, I don't know. It's weird if you start talking about religion anymore, people automatically start chastising you, but I do not live at the foot of the cross like I should. But I saw, I'm sure everybody's seen the quote too, where it says that I would rather be sitting on a boat fishing, thinking about God, than in a church thinking about fishing. And, and that thing hits me pretty hard too, because like I go out and I fish by myself a lot. And not because I, have to or want to, it's the fact that sometimes it's just that piece away from even myself, man. I can get out of my own head, and I don't have to think about anything. The only thing I'm looking at is where I'm making my next cast and where I'm going to run my boat to next. And if I have the opportunity to catch a fish, where should I go? Build a pattern. I can get out of my entire head for however long I go fishing, whether that's 2 hours or 10 hours a day.
That makes me think of that meme where it says, "Man, fishing is so peaceful," and then that guy's like, he goes nuts after he doesn't catch a fish or he loses a fish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, it can be either way, can it?
Yeah, I mean that's the deal. Like, fishing can be easy depending on where you're at, and it can be extremely tough. It can be like Lake St. Clair, Lake Erie easy, and it could be Ohio River tough.
Yeah, no doubt. Shoot.
Shoo. Yes, sir. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going back south again because the fishing there, excuse me, is so much better. And I really like grass fishing, man. That is like very much like rising is one of my favorite types of fishing, if not my favorite type of fishing. It's just the way they blow up out of mats, and you know, it's that's super addicting to me. I mean, frog fishing is the most addicting fishing there is, in my opinion.
See, I like frog fishing. My favorite, like the most addicting fishing for me is more of the traditional top water, popper, walking bait, buzz bait. Paul Howard says, let's see,
In
Gary
Canada
Kinley-
fishing, all right,
yeah,
catching him some wallies.
Paul Howard. We're in Canada fishing. Water temp is 73 degrees. That's it was 77, I think, at Grayson the other day. So it's not too far off. I guess we're only about 3 hours. I guess we're about 7 hours from Canada, I reckon, depending on how you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. East and West Harbor is amazing. And Fred, wasn't it you was talking about last week that was heading up there for a tournament, was going to fish East and West Harbor? How'd you do? Smallies, that's what I'm talking about. Well,
Can't beat a smallie.
Frog Bites turning on in Chick, Nick, Jack, and Gunnersville. I saw the pros are fishing right now, or maybe they're practicing on G-Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not allowed to talk about or hear anything from Chickamauga, which to me, I know they're trying to make it fair, but it's like, man, I'm like 5.5 hours up here. How is me gonna that's the only it seems kind of crazy, but I hope this rain and everything makes it really fun, because man, I don't know if you guys have been as busy at work as I have been lately, but man, it is really kind of making me daydream about going down there and catching my PB.
Yep. Fred, nice job, man. He finished second in his club classic. Give him the 2 thumbs up, Jared. Let's get some fireworks.
Yeah. Where at?
What was the fireworks? Lake Erie.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
What was the fireworks? Was it just one? I thought it was 2 thumbs up.
I did too. I don't know.
Maybe you just saw one. Maybe you can put the 2 up.
Yeah, it's like a new update. You can only.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, I would do that, but I don't have a Macintosh. I'm on a PC. It's 11-8, man. Man, East Harbor, Sandusky Bay, man after my own heart. 2 of my favorite places to fish on the planet. Got a quick update here for those of you guys that may be interested in going up to Lake Erie and catching some walleye, or staying in a camper to bass fish. The only problem is it's a little far west. It's over towards Fenwick, and it's like west of East Harbor. It's about a mile west of the Davis-Besse nuclear power plant. There is a creek there called Turtle Creek. There is a campground called Fenwick. There is a boat ramp, boat launch there, and all that stuff. My buddy Dusty just bought a camper there. and a lot and a boat slip. So I will be traveling there a lot to fish, but he is potentially looking at the opportunity, maybe, and I'm not putting words in his mouth, but like doing it like an Airbnb for a couple weeks a year, so people can stay there in his camper and fish Lake Erie. It's not a giant run from there to the islands. You're probably looking at 15 miles probably in a bass boat. If it's clear and slick, you can be there in a couple minutes. But you know how Erie gets. You could always trailer your boat to somewhere like Catawba and go out. It's up to you guys, but we'll keep you posted on that. Pretty excited. Again, if you're just now joining us, the Shimano Owners Tournament is November 15th at Lake Cumberland. You have to buy a Shimano rod or reel. It's $100 or more from a participating dealer. Borders in our area is that participating dealer. Backwoods down there in Lexington, I'm sure, or is it Backwater?
I think Backwaters.
And then there's Cane Pole down there in that area. What's the fellow's name down there? Tracy Glass. Is it Glasscock? Is that his last name?
I don't know now.
Let me find out here. Yeah, his name is Tracy Glasscock, but he owns Bypass Bait and Tackle in Flemingsburg. I'm sure they are one they can get. Well, Strick, to be honest with you, here's the exact reason why. So I stream all of our high school football games. I get paid to do so. I have to stream all the home football games, not away football games. We were slated to play a team called Kip Columbus out of Columbus. And we, on the schedule, when I was looking at it right before, prior to school starting, the schedule said it was on Saturday. So I just assumed that I was going to have to film that football game on Saturday, and I wouldn't be able to fish because I figured that they would make that game like noon or 1 o'clock or something because it was going to be on a Saturday. They wouldn't have waited all the way till like 7 or 8 o'clock to do it, so I would have had to work. Well, without me, I didn't know this, and maybe I should have known it or whatever. I didn't see it posted anywhere on Facebook. They had changed the game to Friday. So I didn't realize that until Wednesday of this past week, which was already too late to do any pre-fishing and too late to get anything rounded up. So the reason I didn't fish the river out this year was because I was slated to work on Saturday, and it ended up not happening that way. Looked like a good tournament. Billy Back winning that thing, and Kevin Spears coming in there. Big bass, and he finished well too. Good tournament always. I miss running it. I just don't have the opportunity. The time to do so. I'm going to try this summer to start it's going to have a 1 weekend tournament similar to the river at, but I'm going to try to do it in the springtime. I'm not sure where I'm going to do it at, probably on the Ohio River, probably do it somewhere like May, April, May, somewhere in that area, depending on what the water looks like. But I want to hold a March Madness style tournament where we have to have an even number of boats. I've been talking about it for a couple of years, and I haven't done it, but I think it'll be an awesome time. Where you go in, there has to be an even number. There can't be an odd number. It has to be an even number of boats. So it'd be like 50 or 100, how many we can get in there, but it has to be pre-registered because we have to know exactly how many boats we have. But once we have an even number of boats, you come there, or actually we'll probably do it digitally because it's easy to do that, and you can do it randomly. We just get randomly paired with another team for Saturday's tournament. When you go out for Saturday, the first day of the tournament, you don't have to beat everybody else on the water. You just have to beat one team, and that's the team that you were paired up with randomly. If you beat that team, you move on to day two. Day two, all the weights, 0. Best team wins. Big bass as well. And the only other thing that I could see coming into fruition is if there's a tie or if neither boat catches a fish, because we are talking about the Ohio River here, then it would be determined by a coin flip, heads or tails type deal. If you don't catch a fish, you still have the opportunity to fish day two if the other guys don't catch fish, but you have to beat one team only. I think that does a lot of different things. One, it gets a lot of people that would like to get into bass fishing intrigued because they don't have to beat the entire field all at once. They just have to beat half of them, have to beat one team, and then half the field. which is a lot better odds than having to beat all of the field for 2 straight days. It also gives you a little bit of luck on your side, and it would change the way that I fish as an angler. I would probably kind of keep my best spots for day 2 and just try to have enough weight to what I thought to go to day 2. Now, does that come back and bite you? Sure, probably. But we're talking about the Ohio River. Again, we sold 9 pounds, almost 10 pounds on Saturday, which is a great bag for this time of year. It's been very tough on the Ohio River. There's been less current flow than any I've ever seen in the last 10 years. It seems like 10 pounds for the Ohio River is a good bag. But I think that would be a really cool deal. I think we can get a lot of people involved. I think we can get a lot of businesses involved. I talked to Chris Malone at Malone's Marine. He said he was in. I'm sure Borders would come in. You know, we can get Strick to come in there with some just to help us out and all that stuff, that we can get a pretty good deal. I think it could be a big turnout and it could be a big payout. I'm thinking that we could do, you know, you could potentially pay out $10,000 if there's enough people that come in. And I'm not talking about making it a huge entry fee. I think like $100 a boat would be, you know, upper echelon that I would go for. Again, maybe even $50 to get the thing started, because I want to get more people in the area bass fishing tournaments. And I think, you know, I talk to a lot of people all the time. They're like, I'd like to fish a tournament one time, and they always want to fish with me because I fish a lot of tournaments and they want to like learn from me and what I'm doing, which is fine. A lot of times when I'm fishing with somebody else, I can't, you know, do that. But if I'm looking at it this way, if somebody has a brand new bass boat, or, you know, they are new to the fishing world and they want to come out and spend $50 and have the opportunity to win, you know, $5,000, they could do it. And again, the very first day, they only have to beat the team that they're randomly paired with. They don't have to beat the whole field. They only have to, and then day 2 on Saturday or Sunday, it narrows, you know, the field is narrowed down to half. All the weight's 0. It's, you know, mano and mano at that point. So if you've got 25 pounds on day 1, you're kind of getting screwed. I get that. But again, it's just going to be the way that the tournament's set up. I think I'm going to, you know, I think I'm just going to open it up wide the heck open, man. Like if we're on the Greenup pool and you want to run down in the Meldal pool or go even farther down to like Maysville and you want to get some gas or whatever, that's up to you. I think that we should, you know, there's very few tournaments where you can lock through and stuff like that. I think it should be just wide the heck open. It should just be off limits, like stuff like down at the Greenup Dam. There's that, whatever that, run or whatever it is down there right before you get to the Greenup Dam in the Greenup pool on the right hand side. That is actually off limits because the buoy, it really isn't. The buoy is past that thing anymore. But if you look on the Army Corps of Engineers website, it shows that buoy being before that, but it's like Cather's Run or something. I can't remember what it's called, but down there, actually, the Cather's Run River is in Pennsylvania. Totally different thing. Franklin Run, that's it. Yep. Knew it was something run. But on their website, it shows that it's off limits. For some reason, and maybe because you can get back in there and like hide fish or whatever, I don't know. But for some reason, Mike Drummond, when he ran the river out, would always make that little park down there in Wirtland off limits. And I had no clue that you could even get a boat up in there. And JR and I the other day were fishing the river, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to see how far we can go up in here. You can go up in there pretty good daggone ways.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't worth a crap, but you can go all the way up in here. It looks fantastic. Like it looks like it should just be loaded.
I thought we were going to catch something back there for sure. But anyhow.
Yes, Rick, I'm with you, man. I don't think there should be any off. I don't think there's any off limits to this tournament. It's just, you know, law abiding stuff. You know, don't go fish around the dams. Don't go into anywhere that you're not supposed to on any given day. But if you want to run all the way up to Gallipolis and walk through the Gallipolis Dam and fish up into the Kanawha, if you think you can make it up there and back in that time, bud, that's up to you. I think it should just be, you know, ready to rock and roll. You know, live scope, you name it. If you got it, you can fish it. It's just going to be one of those deals where it's kind of like one of those, you know, race what you brought type deals. You know, I don't care if you got 5 Zebco rods on the deck of your boat and somebody else has got 5 Poison Ultimas. You still have the same opportunity to win. But that's coming soon. That's going to be in the spring. The reason I'm going to wait until the spring to do it because the Cold Grove boat ramp is probably where I'm going to have it, and we're getting ready to repave that thing. We actually just got just a quick update on that. We got the bid back from the companies. They went out for bid a couple weeks ago, I guess. I was out of town when it happened. But they had several companies bid, and it actually came in way under, from what I understand, several $1,000s under the estimated cost, which is good because we're going to do some other stuff down there. But with that being said, the boat ramp is going to get a facelift. Not really the boat ramp, but the boat parking lot. Also going to have a secondary way to get out of there. I saw some people complaining on Facebook this week about the river rat being stuck in a line for 45 minutes to get your boat in and out. It does suck that there's only one lane there. We can't touch anything with the river at all. We can't touch anything that touches the water with this money. However, I'm thinking about trying to look for a grant for the state of Ohio for Cold Grove. One, the floating dock needs to be moved on the upriver side of the ramp. It is the worst engineering disaster I've seen in a long time. They have a floating dock on the downriver side of the boat ramp. So all the flotilla and stuff that comes down the river just pushes right against that floating dock, and it piles up right on the boat ramp. When if it was up on the upper end or up on the upper river side or the upriver side, you could take an excavator and just push it out from that boat or from that floating dock, and it would go out and around the boat ramp. So I'm not sure what engineer done that, but engineers, am I right?
The smartest people, the dumbest people, the most annoying people.
Yeah, Strick, I agree with that. There's enough room down there to put a 3 or 4 lane boat ramp in there. And really, what does that cost? Concrete, somebody to pour it, and a dozer to push it into the water. Like, how much money does that cost? Does that cost $10,000? Is that a $20,000 project? I don't know what that costs. I'm figuring that $20,000 would kill it. There's got to be a grant somewhere that you can get from the state of Ohio to put that in there. That boat ramp was grant funded. I know that for sure. My dad was on the council when he done that. But I would like to be able to put several in there. And I think Strick's right. I think it's wide enough for 2 because that floating dock is actually taking up a pretty good piece of concrete there. You could at least get, even if you put it in right there if it was dry, you could put it in right on the bank there. But if it gets a little bit wet, you sink your truck. But that's what I think about trying to get that done to where we can at least put 2 boats in there at the same time. Only thing that would be is just to pour another concrete pad and push it in there with a dozer. I'm pretty sure that's how that's done. I didn't know how it was done. I thought they would block off the water and kind of like they pump it out like they do a bridge when they build a bridge piling. But that is not true. I've been I've seen it the other day, which I didn't realize how it's done, but they just pour a big concrete slab on some gravel or whatever near the water's edge, and then when it cures, they just take a dozer and push that thing into the water.
But that stuff is so interesting to see how they do it, man. People are those guys are like artists when they have a bulldozer the way they carve up stuff is amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. There's a lot of current. You're up on that thing before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's going to be new concrete down there, a new blacktop. All those big mounds of dirt, all those big sod humps are going to be gone. We're flattening all that out, making a little bit more parking. We're going to change the way the parking is. We're going to have some nice painted parking spots down there. There's going to be some few handicap parking spots down there as well. We're getting a new lighting package down there. So if you're fishing real early in the morning or late at night, you should be able to see it. I talked them into putting a light or 2 on the floating pillar for that floating dock, or not the floating pillar, but the pillar for the floating dock, shining down into the water there towards the boat ramp so you can see to put in. I'm sure you guys saw that this week when you were putting in for the river rat. It's really dark down there. The parking lot right now is lit up fairly well, but man, here in a couple months, that thing will be lit up like the 4th of July. You ought to be able to, you go down there and get your eyeballs singed. One, that I think that kind of like negates all the people going down there doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And they're also putting a camera system down there to try to make sure people are not screwing that stuff up, which I'm all for down there too. But that stuff's coming. Maybe I can look for grants and stuff to try to make that boat ramp happen a little bit better. Maybe we can have, it is the nicest boat ramp closest to us. Again, I think probably the nicest ramp right now is probably Little Sandy. They have a huge parking lot. They just redid a lot of the ramp, put that courtesy dock out there. They've spent a lot of money on there, put new lighting package on there too. They got it going on. But in my area, closest to me, I think the best ramp is probably Colgrove. There's a decent amount of parking. It's not huge. We are making more parking. It will be gravel parking, but you can park a lot more boats, and it's going to be, you can still go out the same way if there's nobody coming, but we're going to make it to where it's a loop to get out of there. So, it kind of negates the fact of, everybody getting kind of hung up in that one lane to get in there and get out. So once you get your boat out, you can pull up. So basically, if you pull out of the ramp and you go immediate right, there is nothing up in there. There's like dirt mounds and stuff. There's going to be a road going through there now that will be gravel from there all the way around for the first thing. We're probably going to look at paving that with the second phase of the grant. But you can go out that way, so you can park your boat up in there if you're, tying your boat down or getting everything re-rigged to get out of there. So you're not right in everybody's way. That's going to be there. There's going to be some really long parking spots up there that I think, don't quote me on this, are going to be looked at for like campers and RVs. So folks that are, looking for a place to camp, it's a really nice place up there, actually. So that will be coming too. I haven't, excuse me, I haven't seen the one in Guyandotte. I know where it's at, but I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out. It's pretty good tote for me to Guyandotte. It's probably 35-minute truck ride to get to Guyandotte for me. Nice new picnic shelter too. I don't know who was above that or who was over that. I don't know if that was, what's his name, Gaston? No, that's South Point. I'm trying to think of the guy's name, the mayor down there, but they're putting a lot of money in it, but it as well as it should be. I mean, like, there's a tournament held there every Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. They have Tuesday at Colgrove. It's a lot of fun, and it also brings a lot of money to the area. Myself and Andy Holmes, the mayor here in Colgrove, we were having a conversation the other day about it, is that folks don't realize what fishing brings to the area if you have a nice boat ramp that people can use, like the river at. If you think about it, the other day, there was like 35 boats or ish, somewhere in there, 32 or 37. I can't remember what Dan told me, but I would say 50% of those people probably stopped at Speedway in Colgrove and got gas, or snacks or Gatorades or what have you. So that money, directly gets fueled into Colgrove's ecosystem here due to taxes and stuff, and Colgrove's and all that stuff. So, it helps out everybody, and it's a nice place to hang out. You don't have to worry about getting hurt down there. It's just nice. It's the way that goes. Lundy, that's it. That's the dude's name. All right, ladies and gents, we're about that 58-minute mark. I'm going to go lay my body gently down. I am absolutely exhausted.
I'm there, man.
And JR's going down to Chickamauga 2 weeks. I'm going to go watch the herd on Saturday.
What is it?
So I'm going to go watch the herd on Saturday.
Oh, you have fun.
Go get my herd on.
Yeah.
Dude, the herd football games are an absolute blast. I love them. I'm probably going to buy season tickets next year. So much fun.
I just wish some football, well, I can't say that. Ohio State's freaking awesome. But, I wish WVU or Marshall would get a good team again. But, it's just not going to happen, I don't think.
WVU, there's a kid from Ironton playing middle linebacker.
Yeah.
When you get beat by Ohio University, though, that kind of puts a damper on things.
Faux show.
I will say, though, got to give Ohio credit because they played Ohio State tougher than I thought they would.
Man, Minnesota didn't. Holy cow. That was
That
brutal.
freaking dude that won a field goal cost me
Mhm.
$590
Why?
on a $10 parlay bet. I guessed all the other spreads right. I had 6.5. Buckeyes minus 6.5 first quarter. They would have pulled that off because they scored right as time expired. But that one field goal cost me almost $600. PJ Fleck from Minnesota said it was the best defense he's seen in 15 years.
Yeah. Go Bucks.
Yep. All right, guys. Hope you guys are having a great evening this evening. We'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We will see you guys. And I hope you guys are out there catching them, leaning on them. It is going to be a good week. I think the weather's going to calm down a little bit. We're going to see a cooling trend. Get out there and throw that chatterbait, that jerkbait. Go catch one. But without further ado, guys, you guys can get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of On Another Line Live. We truly appreciate your support, and we couldn't do it without all the amazing folks at home watching week after week. A big thank you goes out to our sponsors, who help make this show possible. Malone's Marine, Borders Sporting Goods, Solar Bat Sunglasses, Picasso Lures, Shimano, and Columbia Sportswear. Their partnership allows us to keep bringing you the content you love. We'll see you next time on Another Line. Until then, get out there and lean on them.